Good morning, my friends. I'm here today to do something that I really like to do with my own practice, which is kind of switch it up. And it's important for a lot of reasons, but if we're used to doing the same thing over and over, our body kind of starts to conform to that. And we miss out on other parts of our body because obviously in one class you can't get every single muscle in your body or anything like that. Um, so one of the ways that if you do vinyasa yoga a lot, power yoga, something like that, what you really miss out on is long, slow holds of poses. And so today we're going to do those. And we're going to do it around a concept called yin yoga, which is addressing the connective tissue in our body, not so much the muscle. So you don't warm up typically before yin. In other words, you don't do a lot of stretches and stuff because stretches are typically warming up muscles, and we really want to work with the tissue that's in between the skin and the muscle. So you have it everywhere in your body. It's like a continuous web that runs all through your body. There's connective tissue wherever there's skin. And so we don't pay very much attention to it. And sometimes we end up having problems because of that. So today we're just going to address some of that stuff. And it's just a fun way to switch it up, get aware, become aware of another area of our body, not so much our muscle. So you will need some kind of props, and I'm not really sure what you'll have at home. These are eggs. These are like the next step in yoga blocks, but yoga blocks are fine. And you might have to get creative if you don't have anything like this. You might have to find something else. And a bolster of some kind or a pillow can help. And if you really fall in love with the practice, then you might want to get some yoga blocks of some kind and a couple of bolsters, because it makes it a lot more easy. Okay. So we're going to start. We'll start with a pose that you're probably familiar with. It's called what's it called? Butterfly pose. And soles of our feet come together, and we lean gently down into the knees with the elbows. So here's the thing: when we do this in a vinyasa class or another kind of class, you may find yourself really pushing and getting this stretch in the muscles in here. Okay, but today we want to work on a different area of the body, even though it's a similar position. And so what we'd like to get out of it is start to really stretch the back out. And we do this by making it as comfortable as possible. So I'm going to use one of these blocks. Again, you can use another thing if you have it around. It might take you a little while to find the right prop or the right height. And you can put this on your feet, or you can put it on your mat, whatever works for you. And you're just going to find the area that's just right for you to relax your head. So everybody's body is different. So for some people, the relaxation of their head is just going to barely meet these two blocks here. And that's as far as their back wants to go today, and that's okay. We're just going to soften into that, let the shoulders drop. Begin to imagine that you're breathing into that lower back. Maybe you can place the block a little bit closer to the feet, or a little bit closer to the ground, and gently start to rest here. But wherever you end up being, we're going to take at least 3 minutes in each pose. And the reason for that is that we really want to settle in. We're not thinking about the next place that we're going to go, the next move, the next pose, the next transition. We are really just thinking about our body right now and where we might feel some of this opening. So your head is as heavy as it can be, and that's helping the back stretch out a little bit, lengthen a little bit in the spine. you continue to soften, you may find that your head gets a little bit heavier and your back does get a little more open. And it's possible, this will not work for me, but it's possible that for you, your head can come all the way down. That would be a little bit of a stretch for me, so I'm just going to stick with this one. And as you start to think about coming out, before you do, take a few nice, comfortable breaths and notice any changes that have happened in the settling of your body. When we come out of yin poses, we do it really slowly and gently. Because our body has kind of settled in one position, we've really relaxed and become heavy in the legs in this position. So we don't want to jump out of it or jar the body. We want to be really kind and gentle as we bring our body back to a still position. We'll move into half butterfly from here. So one leg will come out and one leg will come in, doesn't matter which one you do first. And if the sole of the foot touches the thigh, that's great. And if it touches down here a little bit more, that's great. Really doesn't matter. And then we'll start with a large block. Again, this is a pose you're probably familiar with. So when we do this stretch, very often we're grabbing onto the foot and we're really pulling. And we're stretching out the whole back of the hamstring, which is great. But that's not where we're going today, remember? So today we're going to focus on the opposite side of our back as it opens up and as we start to fold over. So when you place your block down onto your knee or your thigh or wherever it ends up being, you're going to really encourage your lower back to soften and relax. You can even help it out, like with a little bit of massage, a very gentle touch, just to feel what's going on back there. And again, everybody is different in this fold, so you may be up here, or you may be closer, or you may be even closer than that. You may be one of those people that fold your forehead right down into your shin. Begin to soften in the shoulders, making sure they're kind of level with the earth so we're not really twisted open in one direction. And then making sure that you're facing straight down over that leg so you're not twisting in any weird way. And begin to soften in the lower back and begin to get as heavy as you can with the head. And settle into this pose and just notice where you feel it. What does it bring up for you? Can you soften anything and make it a little bit more relaxed? For example, my knee was really locked and I just undid that. Now it's soft, feels better. Maybe you feel like something has lengthened enough that you can switch the level of your block, but still be comfortable. And as you begin to think about coming out of this pose, you want to be as gentle once again with your body as you can. So you'll push yourself up very slowly, stacking the spine nice and tall. And then you'll use your hands to help your legs into the position to do it on the other side. The other thing I didn't mention is that I'm sitting up on a blanket about 4 or 5 inches high, because that really helps my hips move open a little bit. If your hips are not super open, this can be really difficult to do some of these poses. So I highly recommend as many props as you need to get into the right position and to be comfortable. So we're working on the other side now. We're going to turn it around, sitting up nice and tall, once again, toes up to the ceiling. And we'll gently start to fold ourselves forward and just see where we end up on this side. Remembering that our sides are different. What we do with one side is not necessarily where the other side needs to go. Let your head be nice and heavy here. And you'll probably start to notice that the opposite side of your back is getting a little bit soft, putting a little bit of pressure on it. And as you settle in, notice the shoulders are level with the ground so that you're not twisting one way or the other. If your head needs to be a little bit lower, go ahead and make it a little bit lower. If your knee needs to bend a little bit and soften, please do that. Actually, your knee does need to soften and bend a little bit, because remember, this is not a locked knee stretch. We'll be coming out in just a couple of breaths, so begin to think about how you're going to move out of this position. Use your hands, remove your block. And we'll bring that other leg in for just a moment. And sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to take a couple little slight drops to the side. This will help stretch out the side body that we just kind of intensely focused on. And then we're going to come into pentacle pose. So pentacle pose is like Shavasana, but instead of in one straight line on your in your body, you're going to kind of spread out and take a little room. So it might be a little hard to see from this angle, but you're going to make your body into a wide star. So my feet are going to come to the edges of the mat. The corners of the mat, rather. And then I'm going to lay out and I'm going to let my arms come down, maybe out to my sides. So it's just like Shavasana, but it takes up more space, which is an idea that I like, just spreading out a little bit more, kind of claiming the area that's ours, and not being small and quiet, being as large as we are. usually we do 1 or 2 minutes in between the poses in yin yoga. It's a reset for your body. You kind of forget about the last thing you did and you move into the next thing. When we move out of pentacle pose, we'll bend our knees and we'll work a little with our bridge pose. So again, bridge as we know it is a real strengthener for the legs. It uses a lot of open shoulder or open front body power. And so we're going to do different, of course, because it's yin yoga. So in this bridge pose, we're going to have a lot of props to help us, or a lot of support to help us really relax. And you'll see it's a whole different feeling. So place the legs down to the ground. We'll roll up once into our standard bridge all the way up. Remember not to look left and right. So if you're watching the video, watch it first and then do it. You don't want to move your head in this position left to right. Take one of your blocks or a blanket or a bolster or pillow and place it right underneath your sacrum. And now the whole bridge feels different. Now we're not working to keep the hips up. The hips are already up. So we lift up just a little bit, squeeze shoulder blades underneath us, and then bring the head and the upper body back down. And you'll feel a nice opening in the shoulders. And the part of the body now that's actually being stretched is the front of the body. And we can make it even more noticeable by bringing the legs out and really draping yourself over that block or bolster or prop. Maybe here you can really feel the hips open up a little bit, the front of the hips. So we can just slide the legs back up so that the feet are nice and close to the hips or the block. And then we'll push in nice and easy into the soles of the feet, lift the block, or remove the block actually, and then lower the body down nice and easy, all the way down to a flat back. And when you get here, maybe you're fortunate enough to feel that your back has lengthened a little bit and opened up, and that there's just a little bit more space in your spine. So that's called supported bridge, and the next pose is supported fish. Similar, but it targets a whole different part of the body. So we'll bring ourselves up. We'll place one of our blocks or blankets. I'm going to show you the blanket first because not everybody's shoulders or hearts are really that open. This area is not really that open. So we're going to try it first with just a little rolled up blanket. I'm putting it right in between my shoulder blades, right down my back. Oh, and I want a block for my head. So when I rest in this position, it's kind of, my shoulder blades are kind of squeezing the bolster a little bit. Huge opener here for the heart. And if you don't like dropping your head back, which a lot of people don't, that's totally okay, you can place your block underneath your head. So this is not so much a neck stretch as it is a heart opener. So bring your arms down as close as you can to your side so that your shoulders really drape down. And basically the highest part of your body right now is your heart. close your eyes in this pose if you feel comfortable. Feeling nice and safe in your environment. If this does not feel like quite enough of an opening for you, you can always use a block underneath your back. So everybody's different, everybody likes different things, so there's no right or wrong way to do this, and there's no proper prop to use. If you have this one underneath your shoulder blades, it allows you to squeeze them together a little bit more because it's thinner. So you get a little bit more of an opening in the heart. It's a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more drastic. So you start with the blanket and you work your way up. You see what your body wants today. Encourage your body to soften and your mind to stay still. Remember, we're doing a really big heart opener here, and so to come out, we don't want to jolt or jar the body. I would probably recommend using your elbows to lift yourself up just a little bit. And then roll over onto one side and remove that block. And come back down with as little effort as possible and come back into your final Shavasana or pentacle pose. And sometimes it just feels really nice after that heart opener, all around the front of the body and the back of the body, to just soften and relax. Imagine being kind of like melting butter, softening down into the mat, all areas of our body being as heavy as possible. So if you're doing this practice before bed, I would stay right here as long as I wanted to. But if you're doing it in the morning or midday, I'd recommend coming out of it with something just slightly more energetic. So if you're wrapping up your Shavasana here, just remain in silence. And if you're moving into the start of your day or the middle of your day, bring your knees up towards the sky with the soles of your feet on the floor and rock them gently side to side. Make sure you're getting that lower back rolling left and right into the ground, getting a little mini massage. And then maybe bringing them all the way into the chest for a little hug. And then let them drop you over to one side. On your side, you can use your arm underneath your head as a little pillow. This is a great place to relax the muscles of your face, your jaw, your neck. Getting rid of tension. This is called seed pose, and it's, I like to think of it as the seeds that we're planting for the rest of our day or for our week or whatever. So maybe setting a little intention to how your day is going to go. And then using your both hands to lift yourself up, walk yourself up nice and easy. Back up to a comfortable seated position. Doesn't have to look any particular way. If you always sit cross-legged with one leg in front of the other, then I recommend you switch it up just a little bit. See how that feels? And we'll just find our breath. Find a little moment of gratitude for this amazing body that we get to travel in. This beautiful vessel that's been given to us. And we'll find that light that lives within us, the perfect light of the divine, that never needs changing, never needs fixing, because it's never been broken. Find that beautiful light within you, and notice and know that the light within me sees and honors that beautiful light within you. Namaste. Have a great day.